everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I get to share with you one of the brand new items in the brand new release over at the C&CT Stamp Shop. The new release is called Hey Bestie, and it is super cute. And this is a very large stencil. This is called Bursting Hearts. It's a 9x12 stencil, and the nice thing about this is it's great for card making, but it's also great for scrapbooking. So if you're a scrapbooker, there's huge stencils out there for your 12x12 sheets. This here is a 12x12 piece of pattern paper, and I just want to share with you the size of the stencil. So if you wanted to add a little detail to your scrapbooking pages, this stencil would be great. But today I thought it'd be fun to create a Valentine's Day card with it, show the versatility of a larger stencil. So we're going to jump in. I have a panel here. The panel size that I'm using is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4, and I lightly tacked it to my craft mat. Usually I take my pixie spray and spray the reverse side of my stencils. Now you can very well do that with the larger ones, but I didn't have very much left. So I just thought instead of taping down my stencil, I'll just tape down my paper. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of shading with my oxide inks. I have two shades of pink, a light and a dark. We're going to start off with the spun sugar, and just using my blending brush, I'm going to go over my stencil. Now this is, oops, it slid a little bit. I didn't tape it down too well, but it's easy to line back up. But the nice thing about the stencil is it kind of trails smaller up in the top right, and then it trails to bigger hearts down to the bottom left. And I'm just holding it down with my hand, doing a light shading with my spun sugar. And and it looks really light in the video, but the spun sugar actually stands out pretty much against that white cardstock. Okay, next I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting with my picked raspberry, just adding a little bit of darker color, just so each of those hearts have a little bit of dimension to them. Once I'm happy with my picked raspberry, I did clean my stencil off just using my stamp chamois, and then we are going to add some extra sparkle to our background. I'm going to bring in my Nuvo Glimmer paste. This is in Moonstone. I love the shimmer that this has, but once I'm happy with the placement, I did scoot my stencil more towards the middle. This way I have larger hearts in my background. I'm just using a spatula to pick up some of my Moonstone, and then I'm going to add some texture in my background and some glitter. I'm just spreading it out evenly. Since these are larger hearts on the stencil, I did use quite a bit, and you want to make sure that you're so it dries evenly too, that it's nice and spread evenly. Once I'm happy with this, we're going to remove our big stencil here, and then we are going to lift up our panel. You can see there's a little bit of that glimmer paste on the edges. I just use my hand to clean it up so it has a smooth edge. So we're going to it dries pretty quick. We're going to set this aside to dry. We're going to take our craft mat, our spatula, and then our stencil and go wash that, because the glimmer paste does dry pretty fast, like I said. Okay, in the meantime, we are going to die cut out the word love. This is the C&CT Stamp Love die set. Two-piece set. One has a shadow. The other one has a fine lined love. I'm going to use doll pink to cut out the shadow, and then some white cardstock to cut out the fine lined love. And then to finish off my sentiment, I'm going to be using the love stamp set from C&CT Stamp. I chose the rest of the sentiment to say, "You more each day." And I die cut out a fishtail banner, and I'm going to treat it with my anti-static powder bag, and there was lots of powder in that bag, you can see here. But I'm going to be heat embossing with white embossing powder. So I'll stamp the sentiment with my Versamark ink pad, and then just using my tweezers, we'll pick this up, and then I'm just going to dip it inside my white embossing powder. I'll dip it a few times just for even coverage. I'll tap off the excess, and then using my heat gun, we're going to go ahead and melt that embossing powder. So my sentiment's going to read, "Love you more each day." I think I use this die the die in the stamp set every Valentine's Day, but just because it's so versatile and I really love the font of it. Okay, so that's ready to go. I still need to wipe off the excess powder. No worries. This is where you want oils on your hands. Okay, next I'm going to use my glue, and we're going to glue our white love to the shadow here. We're just going to lightly tack that down, place it over our shadow with our tweezers and line that up so it's in the center. And then we're going to flip both of these over and add foam adhesive behind the love and the rest of our sentiment. We're just going to cut down thin strips of foam tape and add that behind there, so they're going to be popped up on our panel. We're just removing the release paper, and we'll set these aside, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of fun foam for my background here. It's still a little bit wet, but I think it's workable. The fun foam that I like to use is from Walmart, and it's adhesive back, so all I have to do is add adhesive to one side. I just remove the release paper off of the adhesive I just added, and then we'll place that behind our panel. And then we'll grab our card base. It's standard A2 size top folding card base. We're going to take off the backing from our fun foam and then place our panel in the center of our card. Give it a little bit of dimension. I love the sparkle. It's hard to tell on camera, but the sparkle is so pretty. It's a very warm iridescent sparkle. Next, I'm going to add my love. We're going to just put it right in the center. And then we'll add the rest of our sentiment. This says, "You more each day." We're kind of going to tuck it underneath the word love. And then I think that looks fabulous. We don't need to add any sparkle. There's quite a bit there, but I love the outcome. So that's my project for today, guys. I encourage you to check out the brand new Hey Bestie release over at the Simon Says Stamp Shop. And if you're interested, as always, I'll link all the products down below. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.